This is a list of the top 30 internationally known athletes that tragically lost their lives. Number 30. Agnes Tirop. Agnes Tirop was one of Kenya's most promising young distance runners. At just 19, she stunned the world by winning the World Cross Country Championships. She later captured a World Championship bronze medal in the 10,000 meters and competed at the Tokyo Olympics. But in October of 2021, her life was tragically cut short when she was found dead at her home. Investigators revealed that she had been the victim of a brutal domestic attack. Her death sparked outrage worldwide, and memorial runs were held across Kenya in her honor. Number 29. Sergei Grinkov. Sergei Grinkov was a Russian pairs figure skater who dazzled the world with his grace and power. He won Olympic gold with his partner and wife, Ekaterina Gordieva, at the 1998 Winter Olympic Games in Calgary. The pair reclaimed Olympic glory in 1994, cementing their place as one of the greatest duos in figure skating history. But tragically, in November of 1995, Grinkov collapsed during practice due to a massive heart attack brought on by a genetic condition. His passing left the skating world in mourning, and fans honored him with roses placed on the ice in tribute. Number 28. Sarah Burke. Sarah Burke was a Canadian freestyle skier who helped pioneer the women's superpipe. She won 4 gold medals at Winter X Games, becoming one of the sport's first true icons. Her advocacy was instrumental in getting women's ski halfpipe added to the Olympic program. In January 2012, she crashed while training in Park City, Utah. She suffered fatal injuries after the fall in the halfpipe, passing away days later in the hospital. Her death led to increased awareness of safety in extreme sports. She is remembered as one of the trailblazers who changed the face of skiing. Number 27. Steve Prefontaine. Steve Prefontaine was an American distance runner who became an absolute legend on and off the track. At the University of Oregon, he won 7 NCAA titles and set numerous American records. He also represented the United States in the 5,000 meters at the 1972 Munich Olympics, but in May of 1975, Prefontaine died in a single car crash in his hometown of Eugene, Oregon. He tragically lost control of his car after leaving a party and was trapped underneath the vehicle. His death turned Pre's rock into a pilgrimage site, inspiring generations of runners to chase his fearless spirit. Number 26. Pele Lindbergh. Pele was a Swedish goaltender who rose to stardom in the NHL with the Philadelphia Flyers. In 1985, he became the first European-born goalie to win the prestigious Vezina Trophy. He was also an NHL All-Star who helped lead the Flyers to dominance in the mid-1980s. But in November of 1985, Lindbergh was involved in a crash in New Jersey after leaving a team party. He suffered fatal injuries, and doctors soon declared him brain dead. The Flyers memorialized his locker, and fans across Philadelphia mourned the loss of their beloved young star. Number 25. Alexei Sherpanov. Sherpanov was a rising hockey star from Russia with a future destined for greatness. He broke records as a teenager in the KHL, dazzling fans with his scoring touch. His talent earned him a first-round selection by the New York Rangers in the 2007 NHL draft. But in October of 2008, Sherpanov suddenly collapsed on the bench during a game in Russia. Doctors determined he had an undiagnosed heart condition that caused his tragic passing. His death exposed gaps in their medical care at arenas and led to stricter safety requirements in the KHL. Number 24. Chike Tiote. Tiote was a powerful midfielder from the Ivory Coast, admired for his toughness and hard work ethic. He earned 55 international caps and played in 2 World Cups with the Ivorian national team. At club level, he became a fan favorite at Newcastle United, remembered especially for his stunning volley that sealed a 4-4 comeback against Arsenal in 2011. In June 2017, Tiote collapsed during a training session with his club in Beijing, China. Attempts to revive him were unsuccessful, as he would later pass away. The football world mourned deeply as this sparked tributes across the world. Number 23. David Astori. Astori was an Italian soccer player known for his defense, leadership, and professionalism on the pitch. He spent most of his career in Serie A, rising to become the captain of Fiorentina. Astori also earned 14 caps with the Italian national team, representing his country with pride. Tragically, on March 4, 2018, Astori was found dead in his hotel room before a Serie A match in Udine. Doctors later revealed he died in his sleep from a cardiac arrhythmia. In the aftermath, Serie A postponed all matches that day, and Fiorentina retired his number 13 shirt in his honor. Number 22. Antonio Puerta. Puerta was a gifted soccer player a left back who rose through the youth ranks at Sevilla. He helped lead the club into a golden era, scoring the famous goal to send Sevilla to the 2006 UEFA Cup final. Ayrton became a Spanish international and was seen as one of La Liga's brightest young stars. But sadly, in August 2007, he collapsed on the pitch during a league match against Getafe. Though he briefly recovered, he suffered multiple cardiac arrests and died 3 days later in the hospital. After the incident, Sevilla retired his shirt to be remembered forever. Number 21. Dan Jarque. Jarque was a loyal one-club man who rose through the academy at Espanyol to become their captain. He was admired by La Liga for his composure, leadership, and dedication to his teammates. But devastatingly, in August 2009, during a preseason camp in Italy, Jarque suddenly collapsed in his hotel room. Doctors determined that he had suffered a fatal cardiac arrest at just 26 years old. But his legacy lives on, most famously when Andres Iniesta revealed a tribute to Jarque after scoring a goal in the 2010 World Cup final. Number 20. Emiliano Sala. Sala was an Argentine striker known for his relentless work rate and aerial ability. He made his name in Liga 1 with Nantes, where his goals made him a fan favorite. In January 2019, Salah secured a record transfer to Cardiff City in the English Premier League. But just days later, a small plane carrying him to Wales disappeared over the English Channel. After weeks of searching, the wreckage was found with Salah's body inside, confirming a tragic loss. The football world united in mourning, with tributes held both in Nantes and Cardiff to honor his memory. Number 19. Marco Siamoselli. Siamoselli was an Italian motorcycle racer with a fearless style and magnetic personality. He captured the 250cc World Championship in 2008 and quickly rose through the MotoGP ranks. Known for his aggressive overtakes and wild hair, Siamoselli became a fan favorite around the world. In October 2011, tragedy struck during a Malaysian Grand Prix. Siamoselli lost control, slid across the track, and was fatally struck by other riders. His number 58 was retired in MotoGP, and the Misano circuit in Italy was renamed in his honor. Number 18. Jules Bianchi. Bianchi was a talented French driver seen as one of Formula One's brightest young prospects. He developed through the Ferrari Driver Academy and earned his shot with the Marussia F1 team. At the 2014 Monaco Grand Prix, Bianchi stunned the sport by scoring points in a backmarker car. But later that season at a Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka, he lost control in heavy rain and struck a recovery vehicle. Bianchi suffered severe head injuries and remained in a coma for 9 months before passing away in 2015. His death inspired F1 to explore new safety options for drivers, including the Halo cockpit device. Number 17. Jonah Lomu. Lomu was a New Zealand rugby union superstar who changed the game forever. At just 19, he became one of the youngest black players, terrifying defenses with his speed and power on the wing. He scored on 37 tries in 63 matches, including a legendary performance at the 1995 Rugby World Cup. But sadly, in 2015, Lomu passed away suddenly at his home in Auckland due to complications to a rare kidney disease that ultimately cut his career short. His death brought about tributes across the globe as rugby fans remembered the man who became the first true global icon. Number 16. Samuel Wanjiru. Wanjiru was a Kenyan long-distance runner who redefined the marathon with fearless front running. At just 21, he won gold at the 2008 Beijing Olympics, setting an Olympic record in a marathon. He went on to win major city marathons in London and Chicago, becoming a global star. But in May of 2011, tragedy struck when Wanjiru fell from a balcony at his home in Kenya. Conflicting reports surrounded the incident, and he died before reaching the hospital. His death shocked the running world, cutting short a career that promised to rewrite the record books. Number 15. Kelvin Kiptum. Like Wanjiru, Kiptum was a Kenyan marathon runner who seemed destined to become the greatest of all time. In 2023, he won both the London Marathon and the Chicago Marathon with record-shattering performances. At Chicago, he set an official marathon record with the time of 2 hours and 35 seconds. But in February 2024, tragedy struck when Kiptum and his coach were killed in a car crash in Kenya. The accident ended a career that was just beginning to transform distance running. World Athletics ratified his record posthumously, and he is remembered as the man who brought humanity closest to breaking the 2-hour barrier. Number 14. Hank Gathers. Gathers was one of the most dominant players in college basketball during the late 1980s. At Loyola Marymount, He became the only player in NCAA history to lead the nation in both scoring and rebounding in the same season. Gathers was the heartbeat of LMU's high-octane offense and a surefire NBA prospect. But in March 1990, during a West Coast Conference tournament game, Gathers suddenly collapsed on the court. He was rushed to the hospital but pronounced dead shortly after from a heart attack. His death shook the basketball world and spurred greater awareness of cardiac screening for athletes. Number 13, Jose Fernandez. Fernandez is one of the Major League's most electrifying young pitchers. The Cuban Infector, as he's effectively known, became an instant star with the Miami Marlins, winning National League Rookie of the Year in 2013. He was a two-time All-Star with a blazing fastball and a strikeout rate that wowed fans and hitters alike. But in September 2016, Fernandez died when his boat crashed off the coast of Miami Beach. Investigators later revealed alcohol and cocaine in the system at the time of the accident. Despite his controversial death, tributes poured in from teammates, fans, and the entire baseball community, honoring his immense talent and passion for the game. Number 12, Reggie Lewis. Lewis was a rising star and the captain of the Boston Celtics in the early 1990s. He became an All-Star in 1992 and was seen as the player to lead the Celtics into a new era after Larry Bird. Lewis was a smooth scorer and quiet leader, admired by his teammates and fans alike, but in July of 1993, he collapsed while practicing at Brandeis University. He was later pronounced dead from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a heart condition that often goes undetected. The Celtics later retired his number 35 jersey, and this also increased awareness across the NBA for cardiac health. Number 11, Sean Taylor. Taylor was one of the most feared and respected safeties of his era. A star at University of Miami, he helped lead the Hurricanes to a national championship. In the NFL, he became a Pro Bowl defender for Washington, known for his bone-crushing hits and game-changing plays. But in November 2007, intruders broke into his Miami home while his family was inside. Taylor was shot in his upper leg, and the bullet severed his femoral artery, leading to his death the next day. The NFL honored him with tributes across the league. Washington retired his number 21, and his legacy continues as one of the hardest hitting safeties the game has ever seen. Number 10, Dragan Petrovic. A Croatian basketball genius, often called the Mozart of basketball. He was a star in Europe before making his mark in the NBA with the Portland Trail Blazers and New Jersey Nets. By 1993, he had become an all-NBA guard, averaging over 22 points per game with his deadly outside shooting. But in June of that year, tragedy struck when Petrovic died in a car crash on the German Autobahn. He was just 28 years old, returning from a basketball tournament when the accident occurred. The Nets retired his number 3 jersey, and he was later inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, remembered as the man who opened up the doors for the European stars. Number 9, Philip Hughes. Hughes was a gifted Australian batsman whose talent shone brightly at a young age. At just 20 years old, he became the youngest player to ever score centuries in both innings at a test match against South Africa. He went on to represent Australia in both test and one-day cricket, earning respect for his fearless style at the crease. But in November 2014, tragedy struck when Hughes was struck on the neck by a bouncer during a domestic match in Sydney. The freak accident caused a fatal artery dissection. He passed away 2 days later. His death shook the cricket world and led to major improvements in helmet design and player safety protocols. Number 8, Marc-Vivien Foe. Foe was a powerful midfielder from Cameroon, admired for his strength and energy. He enjoyed a successful career in Europe, playing both the French Ligue 1 and the English Premier League. Foe also represented Cameroon at multiple Africa Cup of Nations tournaments and 2 World Cups. But in 2003 of June, tragedy struck during the Confederations Cup semifinal in Lyon, France. Foe collapsed suddenly on the pitch and could not be revived despite immediate medical attention. His death raised global awareness of hidden heart conditions in athletes, and FIFA continues to honor his legacy at major tournaments. Number 7, Andres Escobar. Escobar was a Colombian defender known as the Gentleman of Football for his sportsmanship and leadership. He also starred for Atlético Nacional, helping them win domestic titles and compete in the Copa Libertadores. Escobar also represented Colombia in the 1994 FIFA World Cup in the United States. But shortly after the tournament, he was tragically shot outside a nightclub in Medellin. The murder followed his own goal against the USA, which some linked to Colombia's shocking World Cup exit. Escobar's death sent shockwaves through football, and he remains a symbol of peace and dignity in the sport. A true sports icon Colombia will never forget. Number 6, Marco Pantani. Pantani was an Italian cycling superstar nicknamed Little Pirata for his bandana and aggressive climbing style. In 1998, he achieved the rare double winning of the Giro d'Italia and the Tour de France in the same year. Pantani became a national hero in Italy, adored by his fans and fearless mountain attacks. But in February 2004, his life spiraled to tragedy when he was found dead in a hotel room in Rimini. An investigation revealed he had suffered acute cocaine poisoning after years of battling personal struggles. Pantani's death devastated Italian cycling, and memorial rides are still held every year in his honor. Number 5. Payne Stewart. Stewart was a beloved American golfer famous for his vintage style and competitive spirit. He won 3 major championships, including the U.S. Open both in 1991 and 1999. Stewart was also a key member of the U.S. Ryder Cup team, remembered for his sportsmanship and clutch play. But in October of 1999, tragedy struck when the private jet he was traveling in lost cabin pressure. The plane flew uncontrolled for hours before crashing in South Dakota, killing everyone on board. His death shocked the golf world, and the PGA Tour honored him with the creation of the Payne Stewart Award, celebrating character and charity in the game. Number 4. Len Bias. Bias was a college basketball phenom who dominated the game at the University of Maryland. He was a 2-time ACC Player of the Year and widely considered to be the next big NBA superstar. In 1986, he was selected 2nd overall in the NBA draft by the Boston Celtics, destined to carry the dynasty forward. But 2 days later, Bias collapsed after a late-night party in College Park, Maryland. He suffered cardiac arrest after using cocaine. Life-saving measures were used but were unsuccessful. Shockingly, this would happen to the Boston Celtics one more time in 1993 with Reggie Lewis. But in 1986, Bias's death shocked the world. Number 3. Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe was one of the greatest basketball players of all time, hands down. A true icon of the Los Angeles Lakers. He won 5 NBA championships, 2 finals MVPs, and was named the league MVP in 2008. Bryant also captured 2 Olympic gold medals with Team USA. He also scored 81 points in a single game, the 2nd highest in NBA history. But on January 26, 2020, Kobe, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others died in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. The accident sent shockwaves through the sports world. The NBA honored him with tributes in every arena, and his legacy lives on through the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation. Number 2. Ayrton Senna. Senna was a Brazilian Formula One legend, revered as one of the greatest drivers in motorsport history. He won 3 world championships with McLaren and was unmatched in the rain, earning a reputation as a master of precision. Senna's rivalry with Alain Prost defined an era and captivated racing fans worldwide. But on May 1st, 1994, during the San Marino Grand Prix in Imola, Senna's car left the track at high speed and crashed into a concrete barrier. He suffered fatal head injuries. His death shocked fans and inspired safety reform in Formula One all across the sport. Number 1. Roberto Clemente. Clemente was a Puerto Rican baseball legend, one of the greatest right fielders in Major League history. He spent his entire career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, winning 2 World Series titles and the 1971 World Series MVP. Clemente collected exactly 3,000 career hits, earned 12 Gold Gloves, and was the 1966 National League MVP. But tragically, on December 31st, 1972, while delivering aid to earthquake victims in Nicaragua, his plane crashed shortly after takeoff. Clemente's body was never recovered, and the tragedy cut short both his playing career and humanitarian mission. Major League Baseball honored him by creating the Roberto Clemente Award, given annually to the player who best exemplifies sportsmanship and community service. If you made it to this part of the video, I want to say thank you for watching the entire video. Please like and subscribe.